Game 2 is upon us. Royal Never Give Up are about to take on Oh My God in match point at Beijing in RNG's awesome stadium. And after that Game 1, Clement, I think we very well could have a series coming out between these two teams. You might look at the standings and say, RNG, they're the best team in the world. They took MSI, they took Rift Rivals. Well, OMG, they kept it even for about 24, 25 minutes, stalling out the Kings themselves.
Yeah, so many good plays coming out from Icon to counteract that counter matchup from the Darius. But what I'm really excited about so far is we have word about the greatest romance in China happening. We have Mountain versus Karsa.
Ooh.
The two junglers from LMS coming over and continuing their matchup. Mountain said that he missed Karsa after he left, and that's the reason he came over to LPL.
Yeah, well, luckily for us, we do have a substitution from RNG. And it's not Zatai who's sitting out. We do have the luxury of getting to see Karsa come into the jungle to play against Mountain, his former mentor.
Yep. When Karsa first made it into Flash Wolves, he finished his first split without a single loss. But of course, Mountain and AHQ shocked the world with a 3-1 victory over Flash Wolves to really start a new era.
Yeah.
Something that nobody really expected. Of course, Karsa then later grew his own fangs, and starting from 2016, took all the championships.
印象应该是他们的打野 Mountain 吧，因为他以前跟我一样在 LS 赛区，然后他在 HQ 战队跟我，就是我们像死对头一样打了3年吧，然后就对他印象特别深。然后他来到这边以后，队伍成绩也还算不错，所以我很期待与他交手。
既然大家都这么熟了，那到时候你
Hey, you can't just cut the man off.
Listen, has Mountain won MSI?
No.
Or Rift Rivals?
No.
Or the LPL Spring Split?
No. He stayed on AHQ and they missed playoffs. That's the actual story, but to be fair, these two had always had a long history. They've always had very fierce competition, and I've said it multiple times. I think when Mountain is playing at his absolute high, he was actually better than Karsa for a lot of those regular splits that happened between those two.
Well, we'll have to see if we get that high out of Mountain this time. We don't get to see him this time. We just get to hear a little bit.
Yeah, we get to hear a little bit of it.
But we don't actually get to see it. But still, this looks to be a fun matchup as well. We're also seeing Icon versus Zatai. Perhaps this time we could see Icon versus Xiaohu. The Hitman didn't really get a chance to show his stuff in this. You're exactly right. Let me could even play in the mid lane. Oh. The Hitman didn't get a chance to show his stuff in this game. Are we expecting a similar jungle matchup with the two just sort of vertical jungling and avoiding each other? Or are we going to get a nice bloody clash between these two junglers?
I think the problem here is really RNG gets to decide which lanes they play in. So if it favors them, sure, let's have a bloody mess. If it doesn't, let's avoid you until 30 minutes. So it really comes down to how RNG decides to play the game. And I'm saying this because OMG, they don't play the gold funnel. They haven't really played that many mage bottom lanes with Xuan P, so they're a very stock standard team. You know what they're going to do, and they're also going on blue side as well, so no counter pick for Icon. So I think really in this day and age, having the ability to select which lanes you're going to go with your picks is such a massive advantage. Like, you can decide the tempo of the game.
Especially in the hands of Royal Never Give Up. That being said, we actually do get to hear from Mountain on his thoughts against playing against Karsa.
这么熟了，那到时候你千万别过分，不然你自己要小心一点。
Don't cross the river. Don't cross
come looking
the river.
for me.
Yeah. Stay on that side. I'll stay on my side.
Yep.
And we'll. Is that the old 20-minute no rush StarCraft strategy?
Nah, it's just basically just leave our emotions on the mountain. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Yeah. Well, Icon, you can see him sitting there on stage. He was starting to build a little momentum in that last game. Now he's going to have to do it once again in this next one. As Ming, you could see getting ready for this. An excellent Alistar performance in that game 1. Multiple massive headbutts, pulverized combos.
Yeah, always has been one of his best champions. Was the first Alistar globally to start using the unsealed spellbook.
I mean, even the Hex Flash positionings in that last fight, he knows he's standing on top of a ward, deliberately mischannels the Hex Flash into Pixel Bush to force OMG to back away from where that Alistar could be going.
Always great on the mind games. And, maybe Uzi isn't sitting right next to him, but he's already in his mind.
Yes.
All the supports that
you can
Uzi
hear
has
the voice
played with,
behind him, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about how he tells you how to auto-attack, when to use your abilities, like how much damage you're going to do in your own trade pattern, so you don't have to think about it that much. But, you know, supports, when they leave Uzi, they typically play a lot worse, not me.
Yeah. Well, perhaps that's why we saw Xiaohu in that last game during the laning phase with the Alistar, because Zoe doesn't have to worry about micromanaging his support. She just clears the minion wave all by her lonesome. And then you've got the Alistar there for moral support, I guess.
Moral support?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheer you on.
I guess that counts. Like, the Zoe
triumph.
matchup is something that is it's pretty interesting because you do lose early, but late game it feels like the AD carry can't do anything to you.
The damage that we saw out of that massive Zoe as Ming seems to be having a little bit of technical difficulties. Hopefully he can get those resolved as quick as we can, so we can go ahead and get into this round 2 between the 2013 Titans.
Yep.
Of course, it's been a long time since then, but some rivalries never die.
A lot of things did change in 2013. I think history was fundamentally altered for the LPL. If OMG was able to step up and go up against SKT, I actually think they had a better chance that year. Like, as an LPL fan back then in 2013, I was so disappointed that I didn't get to see that matchup. Cool going up against FLICKR.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the Demon King wouldn't be who we knew it was. Maybe
the Season 3, yeah.
Yeah, the aggression of the LPL would have been a mainstay instead of, like, protecting the AD carry. Like,
whereas nowadays, in 2018, we're finally saying, could this be it? Could the LCK be falling down? Could the LPL be challenging them? Perhaps that could have been in 2013.
Yeah, it's taken 5 years to get to this point, but once again, I can confidently say that one of the best teams in the world, the best team in the world, is an LPL team, is a Chinese team.
Royal Never Give Up is just doing some massive, massive work.
I was very sure
LPL.
back in 2013 it was OMG for a while. Yeah.
I think everyone was, but it was Starhorn that went instead. Of course, I believe that was also Uzi's first World Championship, 2013.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was Uzi's GF. I was like, I'm not sure about that. But we did see her on screen a couple of times. Yeah. They do pop up. They do like to show the family, especially Doinby's girlfriend as well.
All the fans support. Because, again, these are massive organizations.
Yep.
They've been around for a very long time.
Yep. Doinby's girlfriend is also the president of Doinby's fan club.
Yes.
Yeah, so doing extra duty right there.
But still, we're trying to get these technical issues resolved as quick as we can so we can get back into this. Let's talk a little bit about the style that RNG used against OMG in that game run. Game 1, running the Darius into the mid lane Yasuo to try to counter it. Seeing the mage bottom lane with double top laners. Is that something that we're going to see a little bit more of in the LPL in general?
I think it will be. It's the general trend of ban pick thought right now. If you're on blue side, you want to have multiple picks that can go in any which direction. You avoid a lot of counter ganks, counter picks, and then you yourself can decide laning assignments. And this is what Coach Kesman said after Rift Rivals. You know, they learned a lot from the LCK teams, how they drafted. I think LCK overall was still the best drafting region, especially on the blue side.
Yeah.
And RNG said they did pick up from that. They're going into these games with a different mentality. And we saw in the Afrika game, especially, sending Zatai's Aatrox into the mid lane against the Anivia. A very strong counter pick with the Infernal Chains.
You could hear all the question marks from the casters of, what? The Aatrox is going mid? And yes, it was, and it was quite spectacular.
Yeah, and I just want to talk a little bit more about Rift Rivals and how confident RNG actually was on winning that Game 5. Because they released a mic check of their own team, and the team in ban pick was wondering about if they could make their plane. The plane was leaving at 11. They thought they were playing against KT, and then the announcers came through. They were playing against Afrika, and they were like, okay, we should probably be able to make it by 11.
We can make our flight.
Yeah. So they were very confident in their ability to defeat Afrika, and you know, Afrika is a team that actually knows RNG quite well. Before the spring split, Afrika was the team that said RNG is actually the scariest team in the world. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting decision. Of course, from my own perspective, I did want to see that KT versus RNG matchup.
I mean, the best argument that I heard for it was, do you put an undefeated team of historic chokers in a Game 5?
Yeah, and then KT go back to LCK and lose to HLE. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's probably the right decision.
We joke about the KT roller coaster, how it has those highs and lows. They were on a high going in. Would you love to see a high Game 5 that matches RNG? Absolutely. Would we actually see it though?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Whereas FLICKR was performing a little bit better on the day. Anyways, all semantics aside, we're still the best. This team on your screen, they're the best. As a result of that, again, quick update for those of you who are wondering what's going on. We do have a technical issue with Ming's headset. We're getting that resolved as quick as we can. Looks like he's got it on right now. Should be getting into pick and ban in just a few minutes then. Minutes, moments even. Seconds, one might even say.
You're definitely hoping that the ban pick screen just shows up and saves you.
Yeah, well, usually you see the two coaches and they slide in. Boom, boom, the two coaches. Xiaohu seems like he's back on stage as well, as the fans just get a chance to enjoy the spectacular arena in Beijing. So it looks like we've got everything all figured out now, and we should be getting into the pick and ban shortly. But as you said, OMG do find themselves on the blue side, and RNG on the red.
Oh, looks like we're actually still going to take a moment, have a second here to admire the massive state of RNG's stadium at this point.
Those are the coaches. That's the side-to-side, the head-to-head. And we're in there. OMG, blue side. You've got ourselves Vladimir, Talia, Aatrox, Nocturne, Zoe, Rakan banned away. Darius is the hover to be taken away from RNG, but Morgana prioritized instead.
Yep, two positions that the Morgana can go into support, and both the bot side we've seen taken up. Just going for the Swain, a very LCK-esque type of draft. Can play into 3 lanes at this point. Same thing for the Shen. Seen it support top and also the gold funnel support as well. The River Shen, as Papa Smithy likes to call it. So still a lot of confusion coming from RNG.
Not quite sure what they're setting where just yet, as the Shen is locked in. We'll see what this Black Shield goes on to, because that's primarily why we're seeing the Morganas. Skarner is the hover now, as Mountain just scrolls through all of those jungle champions, knows he's got to go against longtime rival Karsa. So what does he take to try and challenge?
I would not want to see the Kindred.
Skarner instead. Skarner it is.
Yep. I think Mountain has always been better on the Cinderhulk type of tanky champions. This is where he really had the leg up over Karsa. He was known as a better team fighter. And the combination between Predator, Black Shield, Skarner is such a scary thing to think about. Yeah, you cannot slow him down. Especially
when you get that Black Shield on top of it, as you were saying. But the Gangplank now to follow it up. A very early Gangplank from OMG, and that means Trundle is also the pickup for Karsa. Looks like he's going to try to mimic MLXG just without the dying.
Yep. A lot of information being held by that Trundle pick alone. So it basically means no gold funnel. Probably a standard jungler right there.
Now we're looking to the next few bans. Out of RNG, do they decide to start banning away some marksmen from Chuan P? That Ashe taken off the board. We saw a pretty good performance on that Lucian in game 1. Could look to go back towards that, or perhaps instead the Vladimir, the Swain already taken away. Perhaps a mage in the bottom lane like Ryze.
Yeah, I would actually like to see the Varus just taken away here. The Varus actually has a very strong lane against the Swain. Fits well with what OMG is trying to do, catch and tempo. There's definitely setting up for a very strong bot lane. You don't pick the Cannon Barrage and the Skarner just to play around mid. It's mainly about focusing down the bot lane matchup.
So we might be seeing the same old strategy from OMG against Team Royal Never Give Up. Uzi might not be there, but this still could be an opportunity for them to focus that bottom lane. Lucian banned away, so that Varus could be the pick. Unless Zatai can play a Varus.
OMG have to think about their top lane matchup. Kled sometimes does run into trouble. Gangplank does run into trouble.
Got something on your mind there?
Yep. You know what I was thinking about.
Thinking about the good old-fashioned Kled top lane. I mean, maybe we could see one on that other side for RNG if they wanted to take it.
They don't want hard matchups for the Gangplank. Darius is one of those picks that if he can control the wave, Gangplank has a very difficult time. And probably banning it away for the mid lane as well, like we saw in the last game.
That means we will have to see what the rest of OMG's lineup is going to be, as Pyke being looked at from RNG. This would be support jungle double flex with that Shen. Galio instead. Even the quick point from Ming
Yeah,
to help his fellow top laner out.
They really don't want to lock in their support at this point, so they're just going for more flexes and more potential. Because we've seen the Galio go into the bot side position as well. It doesn't have to be mid.
That does mean we can see Icon with something a little bit more comfortable. Ooh, Fiora being looked at and locked in. Gangplank and Fiora, Clement.
Okay. So both of these matchups are actually fairly decent against the Galio if he does go mid.
And they also counterpick away that Pike. Clement, we got ourselves a bit of a wacky composition going on.
Yeah, this is why OMG actually picked blue side. We've never really seen them go for blue side. They're typically a red side and counterpick team. They like to play for lane, but they're trying to throw a curveball with the Gangplank Fiora mix-up. They get to decide which lanes to send these champions into. And they're just going to run a standard kill lane in terms of the bot side.
Oh, the Gnar locked in. We can see laughs and smiles.
Where is it going?
Ming decides to take that.
Like we don't even know where it goes, even if they lock the champions in. Because they could still switch up the lane assignments in-game.
We can still see that. Looks like Icon is the one taking that Fiora. Lots of outplay with that lunge. It's swapped at the exact same time for the two, and the Galio goes back into the mid for Xiaohu.
They're still
swapped
doing
again. All right, we've got 12 more seconds.
That's 6 swaps in the last 30 seconds, just to confuse each
You can
other.
see it on both sides. Where's it going? Still laughs and smiles. Xiang's got his hand on the mouse. As the timer runs down, it locks in. Fiora into the mid lane. Gangplank top. Looks like the Gnar is going top to match that with Galio. Going in mid to match that Fiora. Clement, what the heck?
Well, we've actually seen the Fiora into Galio matchup being played, but I'm not exactly sure the Galio is going to go mid. I guess it's just like it could be a chance of just Icon trying to follow the Galio wherever he goes, get a good matchup for yourself, and then try to go into a 1-3-1 maybe later into the game.
Tracking down that opposing laner and trying to open an advantage if ever there was a thing that Hitman was known for. It's Icon.
They do have a very strong bot lane kill potential as well. Think about all the picks there, the Morgana Pike and a Skarner Cannon Barrage coming down at the same time. Lots
of threat. If they're able to lock someone down, all it takes is one Dark Binding, all it takes is one Predator pull.
So if I'm not mistaken, Xiaohu actually took the Galio, Satai took Swain.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves Let Me with the Gnar.
Yes.
We haven't really seen the Gnar in quite a while. It does have a it's a very skill-dependent matchup into the Gangplank.
I mean, he was very well known for his Gnar performances in Spring Split. Able to get massive slams in team fights, very known for that. Laning phase, we'll see how he stands up against Xiang on that Gangplank because it was picked very early on, so we've got the surprise factor of that Fiora, and it looks like we did see a last-second swap Swain into the mid lane. Zatai is the one taking that Galio. Might have just missed that at the last moment as we load onto the Rift and the crowd cheers on their two teams.
Man, this meta is just so confusing. I want to go back to the good olden days where you knew where everyone was going.
Yeah, the classic. Yes, the standard. Ming and Xiaohu finish off the ward.
What are they doing?
I don't know. There they go. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
All right. That's what you're looking for, Clement, that synergy practice. Oh, and there's another one. Oh, missed it. But that ward will track out Karsa if he decides to go for that bottom side scuttle. Provide a little bit of vision for OMG early on.
We do have to be very careful about RNG and their lanes because they've been known for showing their lanes and then swapping them up, just like they did against Africa, starting the game out with the dance-off.
But it looks like our assignments have settled down. 5 and Chuan P in the bottom lane as our observer catches it back up. Zatai goes into the mid lane to match Icon Galio versus Fiora. And the fan vote still heavily in favor of RNG, as is expected. Never move, just getting a bit of damage, and the late pull plus Shadow Dash. Ming eats a bit more with that Aftershock, but
Yep.
They just traded over.
Good CC duration and good on 5 for trading most of the damage back. Getting the stun onto Ming as well.
And that laning phase goes nice and calm. Ming is just sitting and waiting for it as Mountain decides to go for a red raptor into topside scuttle, whereas Karsa, he's doing red raptor into blue buff. And there's still that ward in the river that could spot out in a little bit, but Karsa's pretty low right now.
And Icon does get his favored matchup against the Galio. Galio having a lot of extra MR, but not doing so hot against physical damage. So we have seen this being run, I believe, in NA as a counter. But I think it's the first time we're actually going to see it being played in the LPL.
Yeah, this matchup at least. Does that ward see Mountain? I think it might have. And Mountain will be tracked out. That scuttle is now being taken by Karsa on the opposite side. We do have a pushing lane from that Fiora a little early on. And now Letme is getting pushed in up top. Even the roam from Mountain as he is racing up there. That's a big minion wave that's about to get in.
But doesn't look like Letme has taken sufficient damage to really be tower doped. So it's probably just going to be a Krug trade.
Another cannon barrel lands as Karsa trading Krug for Krug. Ming even getting pulled over to help Karsa finish this off as the duo of 5 and Chuan P have a little bit easier time contesting that if they were to step away from the minions. So jungler is taking similar paths so far, but for now it looks like Karsa might be following up. That's the Dark Binding. Shadow Dash. Xiaohu flashes back. 5 goes low. Karsa gets the pillar, but Black Shield gets 5 to safety.
So overall, just a flash trade, but I would say in favor of OMG.
Mountain stepping up. That's the boomerang. Immediate teleport. Leme's got flash. He sidesteps 1, but Mountain flashes in. Eats a turret shot. That's 2. And Zatai looking for Xiang, but he eats an orange and is able to stall it out. Mountain is now pinned against the wall. A late teleport, and they pass over the kill. Icon goes in with a lunge of his own. Doesn't quite hit the vital. Might be looking for a second. Icon, what are you thinking? Spell shield goes forward, but Icon backs it up.
Yeah, Letme there with the clutch flash to avoid Mountain's stun underneath the tower and walks out alive, even with Mountain's life as well. Outplay coming out from the top lane. It was a very dicey situation. I felt like Xiang played the lane extremely well. Went for the as many Grasp of the Undying procs as possible and also landed the early barrel. Unfortunate for his jungler, not able to finish off this kill.
And Mountain inching in with the vision. Waits until it takes aggro. Lands the shatter and double flash. Letme actually flashed first. And then the quick follow-up from Zatai. Looking for a kill, but only finds 1 instead. Not late game Galio.
Unfortunate in this place, and the Fiora not really accomplishing anything in this top lane either.
Yeah, we do have to talk about the late teleport from Icon. Perhaps a question to the communication of the OMG roster.
Yeah, I think Icon thought it was a done deal. We've been tracking OMG, and they've always had a very scattered calling system. They're not really the fastest team to react in any sense. So, again, they're kind of like a budget lane kingdom, like IG, in terms of like how they like to play, how they like to have advantages, but they don't overflow like IG do. Like there isn't a point where they consistently get those massive leads in lane.
And that could very well be something OMG have to tackle if they want to start looking for playoff contention as the split continues. Mountain lucky enough to get the Scuttle Crab as it pops up directly under him. Still 800 gold in favor of RNG. We're starting to see some push pressure from Xiaohu and Ming on that bottom lane. A 7 CS advantage for Xiaohu.
Consider their junglers traded side. Should be expected that the bot lane will be ahead in CS. Karsa just waiting for Icon to step up to use that lunge.
Now Mountain is behind him. He sees this now, but Icon just ticks over to level 6. So does Zatai. Mountain is still right there. Karsa.
That was so calm from Karsa.
Just waiting there. He takes his hand off the keyboard, wipes his brow, and gets back into the jungle. Might have been calm, but he was sweating bullets.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would have won that 2v2, so...
Arc Binding lands, and the Bone Skewer, but Ming just blocks a few hits as the wave starts to push back. Xiaohu's getting a little closer to level 6, just needs a few more minions as Mountain steps into lane for some quick experience tacks.
No good targets in the bot lane to really chunk down.
Ooh. Hitting those vitals, getting the crits. Like you said, Galio pretty good against the magic, magic damage, but not so great against physical damage.
I think Galio has been the biggest champion we've seen at Rift Rivals to really pop up, and I think he counters a lot of compositions in 2 ways. He's great against the pick compositions.
Whoa!
Oh, what are you doing, Xiang? No.
Immediately flashes over the wall. That was a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, that was a honey trap for sure.
Oh, yeah. Gets pulled right into that one. I think he saw him, right? He saw him there on the Scuttle Crab. He had to have.
Did he?
The Scuttle Crab was still there under him, I believe. Zatai, he's going for a walk. Mountain is level 6.
Gets slowed.
That's the stun. Icon times the riposte, but he doesn't time it correctly. Zatai goes up. He's still got that hero's entrance, goes low. Icon at such low health, misses the flash, and dies to red regardless.
That was an unfortunate series of events. The communication issues from OMG once again showing its face. Xiang with 2 critical mistakes in a row. The cannon barrage did 0 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, hate to see that happen. Face first into the wall. I like to think it was the flash that killed him, the shame of the flash. Going into that. It's now 2 kills to 0 in favor of RNG. They've got one on the Trundle, they've got one on Let Me. Now they just need to distribute the rest of the kills, distribute the wealth amongst Zatai, Xiaohu, and Ming.
Yeah, that was split targets and a missing ult coming out from OMG at the same time. Very unfortunate to see RNG trying to just get back in lane, I would assume.
That's the Black Shield. Dark Binding lands as well, but Xiaohu teleports in. He's got himself Merc Treads to maneuver around and try dodging some of the skill shots of OMG. But still, we're getting to about the 10-minute mark, and RNG with 1,000 gold are just capitalizing on OMG's mistakes.
Yep, mechanical ones, communication ones. A lot of mistakes happening on both.
Ooh, that never move lands, and they get the Shadow Dash. Remember, there's no Black Shield. Chuan P steps forward and dies. There's the kill onto Ming.
Just great communication coming up from RNG, layering their CC perfectly, taking down the Black Shield as well in the meantime. It's just beautiful to see. Like, the level of coordination, I think, is really what separates RNG from all other LPL teams at this point.
Yeah, that we're just seeing them all move and act almost as one. This is what we expect from the best team in the world right now. As Karsa steps in, starts getting some forward vision. Ping's now going on to Icon. Mountain is nearby, but decides not to show himself quite yet. He actually hops over the ward. There he goes. Now he sees it. And they will also see 5 making his way into the mid lane. But it's 3 kills to 0. So far we've had a jungle kill, we've had a top lane kill, now a bottom lane kill.
And these are pretty swingy matchups. If the Gnar gets ahead, he can usually push in the game plank repeatedly. If the Galio gets ahead, it actually becomes very difficult for Fiora to do anything in the matchup as well. So,
oh, even denying the recall. Come on, Let Me. Give the man some dignity, Predator, but Karsa's already there! Mountain steps into the tri-bush and immediately turns around and walks away, but Pillar of Filth forces him to flash. Xiang looks to clear out this wave. Karsa will take a turret hit.
well, now we know why Mountain didn't finish his statement. Obviously,
Please don't cross the river.
Yeah, Karsa did cross the river right there, if I wasn't mistaken. There is a teleport, but I don't think Xiang has... Okay, Xiang will come in. He does have the Skarner backing him up as well.
You were about to say, I don't think he has the ability to teleport?
I was going to go for another term, but he did finish the teleport. Good thing on Mountain to back his top laner up right there.
Allows him to get back out and in. Was that just a teleport from Let Me to get back into lane? Yeah, he just did match it. He's got a Phage and now Ninja Tabbies as well. As Mountain will now show himself a little bit more on this bottom side as he takes that Raptor camp. Karsa's still hanging out down here. Can he sneak in under the vision? Ooh, that minion's real close. I don't think he's been spotted. Let Me steps up. Xiang doesn't have flash. There it goes. Pillar of Filth and the slow. Let Me's got his stun ready. He can knock him against the pillar if he so desired, but decides to go for the wall instead. And Xiang is dead again.
Yep, just so many ways to kill a pirate.
Didn't actually die in that first engage, but that is now his first death. And look at that, the only person who hasn't died, the appropriately named 5 of OMG.
He does want to make it as the last person. That's why he's named 5, actually.
Thematically appropriate.
Yep. But unfortunately for OMG, there's just aren't that many places where you want to attack at this point because the Shen's already level 6. You're not going to find that 2v2 kill on the Galio in the mid lane. And in the top lane, I think it's already pretty much boom. Like, thing is done there. So
it is 1-0 and 1 in favor of that Gnar. They also got that first turret for even more gold.
I think Mountain has to find something in the bot lane. That's the only lane I really see something happening. But then again, you have the Galio possibly coming down as well. So
yeah,
there's a lot of setup work you need to do just to get that one kill. And it's really dangerous at the same time. And you're running a bunch of matchups that can go both ways, which are already heavily in RNG's favor.
Yeah. Not looking great. Lemmy's even going to start off the Rift Herald at 12 minutes as Karsa's trying to head over to assist him. Doesn't take the blast going over the wall, instead just scouts out for some vision instead. Might leave Lemmy to finish it off himself as Icon could be the target. Pillar of Filth is ready, but Icon sitting on that riposte and his own flash. Instead just allows that Rift Herald to go down. You can see Xiang is heading over there to look for some vision, and because it is so early, it does take him a little while to finish this off. I think Xiang just missed his ward over the wall. 5 sees it goes down, preps the Bone Skewer, but he doesn't quite have any help from his team just yet.
Does need to flash away from that. Also, Ming already rotated top to match 5. Straight up 4v4 in the top lane.
And though Mountain gets to the Shrine, Rift Herald has been picked up by RNG. They've already broken top tier 1. They've got mid and bottom ready to be broken. The world is RNG's oyster right now.
Pretty much. They can go over wherever they want. They have the double globals to back any aggression up. So whenever Galio is in a side lane, whenever he's out of vision, you can play super aggressive. And I don't think OMG has an answer at this point. Like, OMG actually just, I think they need to kill the bot lane over and over again somehow. Like, maybe target Ming.
Farm Xiaohu and Ming for some gold as Rift Herald is used mid as the blue buff is being picked up by OMG. I don't know if they had a word or not, but this timing is impeccable. The turret goes down as Icon and Mountain get back into lane. Are we even going to get a second charge?
No.
Oh, even more damage. Insult to injury, Clement.
Yep, very unfortunate for OMG so far.
As Mountain tries to taunt Karsa in-game and emotionally.
Come on, give the man some due. He was good guy Mountain. He gave the pentakill to Zatai in game 1. Zatai in game 1, sorry.
But now Dragon going to be pulled out of the pit. RNG. It's step A, it's step B, it's step C. They're just running the gambit against OMG, and OMG are having such a tough time responding. Where is the OMG from game 1 that was going even with Royal Never Give Up for 24 minutes?
All right, OMG still have one trick up their sleeves. It's, you know, not stop thinking about the lanes at all. Just go for the 5v5 and all in on the Drake. See what happens. I mean, globals don't do anything when you're grouped up anyway. So.
That's fair, yeah, that's fair. If you can get everyone on the Gangplank barrel, if you can get everyone healing off of the Grand Challenge from Fiora, Death from Below resets time and again.
Yeah,
maximum value.
I know.
Like a Hearthstone combo.
That is a dream scenario, but unfortunately, it's a Cloud Drake when laning phase is basically over.
It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Very difficult for OMG to claim as RNG. They're just setting up so much deep vision now on that side. Letme's happily pushing in, and now the Dragon is being started. Even if OMG wanted to try and fight this, Xiang doesn't have teleport. Icon is hovering on the top side of mid lane, and even though they see the bottom lane go missing, OMG know there's nothing that they can do. Dragon picked up.
You know, I think this game can be pretty much summed up by the fight behind red, where Icon misses his W, Xiang misses his cannon barrage, and then Icon flashes into a wall. That's pretty much the entire sequence of this game. It's like you watch that, and it's like, yeah, the game's probably over.
We can come to conclusions about that. But that being said, there's always a chance. There's always a chance, Clement.
Yep. Icon, if he gets fed enough, 3-item Fiora into a side lane.
Oh, yeah.
He gets the stun.
I guess that's an important question. If that Fiora does become big enough, who matches that? Is that a Let Me Gnar into Fiora matchup? Is Gnar able to take that against Fiora?
Well, I'll be honest, it's going to be a 3v1. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
There's going to be like a Stand United and a Galio flying in.
Never going to get the safe side lane. So RNG, not only have they taken the advantage in-game, their draft set them up with a composition that even if they fall behind, they can respond and defend against the split push. As Icon dashes away, Karsa's the target. That's a subjugate, but here's the hero's entrance. Knock up onto the Impale of Karsa. He's low, but is still alive. Xiaohu is fighting Chuan B on the far side. They managed to find a kill and a quick carry over the wall from Icon. Finally gets the first kill for OMG. They're on the board, Clement.
That's only a 1-for-1 in RNG's side. So favor going over to OMG in this case. Can they save MP? They should be able to.
It seems like they're trying. The minion wave gets cleared out. Dark Binding gets soaked up by that Galio's magic shield. And the Winds of War for some damage over the wall. 5 is still just trading hits over here as the wave is being escorted in by Xiaohu.
That was really well done on Icon, waiting out the hero's entrance to go into the fight. Dodges out on the taunt as well, I believe. So able to pick up the kill.
And it balances out. Look at that, 1 from 1. Letme's going to catch these minions on the top half of the map. It looks like he teleported bottom along with Xiang, so there was no teleport wasted from either side, as all it starts is from whichever team thinks they get a pick.
Both teams are standing on wards at the start of the fight. Carson goes in knowing that he's going to have the Galio. Watch Icon. He waits there, does get taunted up, my bad. Doesn't actually shield out, but does get the kill in the end.
How appropriate is it that it was Karsa and Mountain that died? The two junglers, the two rivals.
Yep.
But Mountain does have 2 deaths and Karsa only 1. So perhaps a little bit more pride for Karsa after that engage. But now we're at the 18-minute mark. RNG still just playing it nice and slow, looking for vision, looking for picks of their own, though we are seeing OMG fight back with that. As a ward gets placed over the wall, Ming, along with Karsa and Xiaohu, step up. 5 with a quick sidestep, keeps himself safe, but the minion wave just crashing in over and over. That's the last tier 1, and once that goes down, the jungle for OMG becomes very unsafe.
Yep, and we are seeing RNG having troubles actually cracking this bot side so far. They don't really have the range to step up, and how often has Mountain just been hovering on this tower?
He's got to stay close. He's got to keep it safe. He doesn't have the hero's entrance. He doesn't have the teleport. Needs to stick with his team to try and counter the plays of Karsa, that Galio, and even the Gnar if he decides to join in on that fight. But still, wave after wave crashing in. Chuan P is clearing them out as quick as he can. But is it quick enough? This next wave is a cannon. And that's even the minion dematerializer.
They're going to have to give up this tower on OMG's side. Like, there's a big wave coming in. Galio's in position while Fiora isn't. So they should need to back this up.
Never move, hits Mountain. He's pulled back away as Atai steps up, but finally the turret goes down. Slow and steady from RNG.
But I do think I see how OMG is going to win this game and the team fights.
Yeah.
It's going to come from an execute and then the grand challenge from the Fiora. So everyone gets healed, and it's a 5v5 brawl between a bunch of short-range champions. Everyone gets healed on OMG's side, and all they need is just that one big kill, and they can follow it up.
And who's the execute on?
It could be anyone.
I see the strategy that you're going for, but we just haven't fully thought it through yet.
Yeah, they really aren't that far behind. Like, 5K at 20 minutes?
About 4,000, yeah. Again, though, it's just we're watching OMG slowly hemorrhage. They're trying to scale up with this gangplank. He's got his Trinity Force, so he's got that going for him. Chuan P, he's got his own Luden's Echo, and Ravenous Hydra also picked up from Icon. If they're able to focus down a target, they could start to have some damage, but they need to find RNG making a mistake without any backup teleports. It's even 3 teleports to 3. RNG just playing the cerebral game. I never thought I would say that. I never thought I would say that. Yeah.
I think RNG are pretty cerebral by LPL standards.
By LPL standards, yeah. As Carson steals away the wolf camp of Mountain, just taking everything.
Yep. I would say overall as well. I mean, they are the best team in the world currently.
Yeah, yeah.
But here's the big decider in the bot lane. It's can Icon actually get this lane to split push?
I love how they all back up out of the brush in vision. They find Mountain, and he's dead. It's a bit of a tragedy. But the Dark Binding, they all step out of the brush in vision of Mountain, then duck back in as if they haven't been spotted. And then they still get the kill. I mean, Mountain didn't have flash, so it wasn't exactly even, as Letme's going to try fighting Icon here. Pinned against the wall, and a solo kill.
And that's a Blade of the Ruined King Letme. Going for more of the split push pressure build.
Yeah.
And still being able to take down the Fiora.
Yep. Let's take a look at how that happens. Oh, he just walks up under turret.
Yep, Blade of the Ruined King dodges out on the W. Of course, the stun comes in.
Sees the Mega Gnar coming. No flash from Icon. That's an emotional state that we're seeing.
Yeah, I
out
guess
of
it
the mid
doesn't
laner.
matter if he can split push against the Galio or not. He's not going to see the Galio anyway.
No. Doesn't need to. Galio can hold on to the ultimate while he farms other waves. Bit of a tragedy as Icon will not find himself respawning. Karsa finishing off the second Cloud Dragon for Royal Never Give Up.
Do want to see a Karsa and Mountain duel. It's a straight up 1v1.
The Pride match.
Yeah.
All chat, meet me at Baron Pit, no friends.
Hey, good guy Mountain gave you guys a pentakill. You should give him that duel.
Yeah. That Pride match, the one-on-one, mano y mano, crustacean versus troll. We're not going to see that, though. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? We've still got a little bit of time in this game. 5,000 gold now for RNG as Baron has spawned. Immediately, OMG try and reclaim vision around the pit. The stakes of their deaths are getting higher. Every time somebody goes down, RNG have the chance to take more and more.
Yeah, I will say, however, RNG still have to close the game out.
They do.
Yeah, this is not an auto-win type of composition. They don't have necessarily a much better late game.
Oh, that's the Shadow Dash. Ming goes into 4 people. Uses a Spirit's Refuge. Mountain is the target. He's got Flash. Let me chase it up from the side. Tosses a boulder. Mountain goes low. Hero's entrance. Slam. Dunk. That's one.
I love how long Zatai held on to Hero's entrance. He's waiting for the best moment for all the gap closers to be used to actually go into the fight. A lot of mid laners don't actually do that.
With the jungler dead, RNG now turn on to the Baron. It's very early. Icon is there, but Zatai is on the side. He steps up. Icon should see him. Here comes the rest of OMG. Baron's at half. That's a taunt. Icon's the target. He goes low. Rapace stalls his death, but that is only in a stall. He does trade 1-for-1, though. His shout goes into the far side on Swain. Goes golden. The execution denied. 5-5. Death from below is used as flash taunt. And the quick burst finds 2 RNG are 11 kills to 2.
And the demonic ascension finishing off the players right there. Great play from Shahu on Swain. He actually Zanya'd a perfect timing out of the ultimate coming in from 5, able to dodge out on the execution and then come in with the clean kill.
And here's that play again. Icon steps up. He's able to get 1 kill back, but at what cost?
Yeah, it was a little bit too easy for Zatai right here to catch onto Icon. He was pretty much dead in the center, but able to take down Karsa, get a little bit of revenge for Mountain. Watch Xiaohe here. He does Zanya the death from below, goes back into the fight after the double taunt.
And gets a flash double kill.
Yeah.
To match it.
And this is why you have real mage players playing in the bot lane. Like, I've seen a lot of bad Swains this couple of weeks. There are a lot of marksmen that can't play mages very well.
Perhaps we could be seeing a new side of RNG. They don't need Uzi when they can just play the meta. Play these massive mage champions, double mage, bruiser, jungle, and support. But now they've got themselves a pretty big goal lead, 6,500. It's getting bigger and bigger. And OMG, they try to fight back, but they find themselves unable. Next dragon will be a third Cloud, spawning in about 3 minutes. Tron P steps up. He's got the black shield, sidesteps one. Shield's about to go down, though. And the pillar of built. He goes down.
Sneaky, sneaky Karsa. Waiting in the correct brushes around here. They're just repeatedly killing OMG over and over again. I just realized they haven't taken Baron.
They
after
have
that
not.
big
No,
fight.
yeah. They decided to back away instead after killing 4 people. I believe Mountain had respawned at that point.
Want to take it extra safe.
There they go. Now they're doing it. Let me split pushing the bottom lane against Icon. He's got teleport, but the rest of OMG are there. 5 is spotted. Ming, what timing? Hops over the wall with the Scryer's Bloom to spot it out. Zatai is just sitting in the wings. Karsa's trying to solo finish off the Baron, question mark ping. Finally backs away.
RNG playing it incredibly safe. I mean, they even had Let Me rotating towards the Baron. I actually feel like they could have finished if they just wanted to sack the mid lane tower.
That's a mage player for you. Missing the blast count. Into blue buff.
That can happen to anyone. It's fine.
I mean, maybe they do fear the chance of OMG getting a comeback. We know that OMG are all very mechanically skilled players. Under the right conditions, OMG could find their way back into this. It's just getting tougher and tougher, and I think RNG are eliminating those.
I'll post it on Twitter, but the best Baron steal that I've ever seen has come from Mountain on Lee Sin.
Yeah.
So, you know, this man has been known for some wild mechanics, but it was all a ruse.
Immediate teleport onto the Baron. I think he just saw Mountain there and decided to immediately all in. Xiaohu steps up, 5 with the Black Shield, is getting chunked out, dashes back, but Xiaohu's happy to take the damage, and Baron is again stopped.
Yeah, a lot of good damage coming out from Xiang. Standing in that cannon barrage does over 1,000 magic damage, and you're also getting your magic resistance debuffed by Baron as well. So good play there by OMG.
Xiaohu's stepping up. Visions of Empire. He's going 1v4 right now.
Yeah, I've seen this play from Xiaohu somewhere before. Was it Rift Rivals?
I think it was on the Vladimir.
Yeah.
Where he just walked into 4 people. Well, at Rift Rivals, he was punished for that play.
Well, he did make the highlight reel on the second time.
He did, yeah. That being said, if you're not punished, how can it be a bad play, Clement?
So this is why teams don't improve. They can't tell concept from execution, okay?
You've got the theory of what you're supposed to do. There we go. And again, RNG back away from, they are just toying with their food at this point. They're taking it real slow.
There's some real reasons why they're playing so hesitant. If they get hit by just one AoE from the entire team, like a barrel, and then followed up with Fiora, that healing will push OMG over RNG.
Yeah, well, we do have 2 items finished on Xiang. Doesn't have Storm Razor, doesn't have Infinity Edge, so not massive damage yet as Triple Cloud Dragon, boys. Ooh, are they actually going to get this dragon before Elder spawns? Yeah, they are. Unless they take their time with it.
Super fast, boys.
Here we go. Super speedy RNG. Gotta go fast. And a mountain after that. Oh boy. Even more spiciness. And RNG decide to reset the map once again.
Yeah, I actually would have waited a little bit for that. Just make sure the Elder Drake comes out as soon as possible, and your team has a good potential to snowball.
Yeah, but now you can get 4 elemental dragons with that Elder Dragon.
You don't need 4.
We're talking about the 41-minute Elder Dragon, Clement.
Okay. Okay. I would have preferred the 35 and just end the game there because Fiora late game is actually terrifying.
Yes.
Like, this combination doesn't really have the damage to take down a Fiora when she has double sustain items.
That's fair. RNG are running on a timer, and if their own hesitance costs them... Are they sitting on top of a ward right now as the flash misses Let Me? He leaps away, and they were, in fact. Shadow Dash onto so many people. Ming goes in, but look at the AoE. They actually get the reset. Karsa goes low and flashes over the wall. Xiang, flash for an auto, kills it. That's 2 members of RNG dead. They trade 1 back over. Xiaohu is big, but is he big enough? Hero's entrance, I believe, was just canceled, and finally they finish off Chuan P on the back. That fight was closer than RNG wanted.
Yeah, that was a 2 for 2 right there. OMG setting up a trap right there. I'm not sure. I think they had the control ward there. I'm not sure. Would have to see the replay in the end.
And the Shadow Dash. 5 dashes away with a quick cleanse. Let Me steps up, but Icon, Blade of the Ruined King, he wants revenge, but does not find it.
But that's the problem with when you're running a meat grinder against a Fiora who has AoE sustain damage. Like, it's so hard to actually take her head down without an ADC. That these situations can get very hairy. Yeah, they were the ones baiting right there.
Oh, it was a barrel, not a ward.
They were sitting on the control ward, so there was no vision from RNG. Ming goes in, gets the double taunt, but falls down very early, and that does give the ult for Icon to keep his whole team alive.
Xiang's able to finish off Karsa in the back, and though it is stalled out rather well.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Chuan P, actually, I think he just denied that hero's entrance.
Yeah.
We call those the melee range bindings, the hugs, Morgana hugs.
And they win with 0 damage on Mountain.
Oh, and the stand united. Let Me just puts us back against the wall, but here comes 5. Leaps forward, Icon goes low, and actually dashes back. Here's a teleport as RNG come out of the woodwork to chase down these kills. They find Xiang and drop him low. Let Me chases up as Zatai is in the back yet again. Boulder misses 5.
This is unfortunate for OMG. Actually, Xiang did not need to finish his teleport. RNG was already backing out. But this is just like the play calling difference between these 2 teams. I actually think RNG can repeatedly do this, never all in, and just kind of like dance with OMG, because someone's going to make a misstep.
Right now, it looks like it's OMG. 15 kills to 4. 5 steps up. Baron's at 2,000 health. Mountain, he's got the black shield. He steps forward. Does he get the steal? They're focusing him down. Baron finished off by Karsa. Mountain just outside of range. Goes down. finally, RNG take the Baron.
Yeah, just too much CC layering over Mountain. No chance to get inside of the pit. Was a bit dangerous for a moment. Karsa was knocked up by Baron.
And now RNG start to step up. The minion wave being escorted by Karsa. Never move. Trades places with the Dark Binding. Neither snare hitting. As Ming starts to step up from behind and zone them away from this turret. Meanwhile, Xiaohu,
2 founds a tie.
Yeah, he's going 1v2, goes down. That's all of the Grand Challenge landing. Xiaohu steps up. Icon trying to back away out of this one. Dies to Xiaohu as he detonates Demonic Ascension early. Ming with another 2 taunt is able to catch Icon. Xiang forced to back away. Cannon Barrage for some damage, but it's not enough. This RNG, they're just picking up kill after kill, padding the stats. With this series against OMG, Xiang steps up to the minion wave despite seeing 4 people, pinned against the wall, pulled back by the Never Move, and dies.
Yeah, just actually walks up, tries to get the wave cleared, but I'm not sure that was the best solution. Probably sitting in his base and trying to clear the wave would have been better right there. And Shuntrippy unfortunately did not have the Zhonya's to complete that play. He was in a good position for the Soul Shackles and the Cannon Barrage, but couldn't finish it. What? That was
gets
wide!
Caught in the Shadow Dash. And the follow-up from Let Me leaps over the wall to get the kill. Mountain is trying to deny the minion wave, but Clement, this game is starting to get a little silly.
All right,
here.
here's the duel. Here's the duel. Back off, Let Me. Back off, Let Me.
Karsa versus Mountain. Come on, man. You gotta let it happen. Oh, Let Me's just gonna run down the kill.
Oh, Mountain, please don't go back to HQ.
Oh boy. This is a game. Teleport bottom. Here's how it starts. Icon finds the tie, and I believe Icon's able to get the full Grand Challenge as he riposts the Justice Punch.
Yeah, does get the stun onto the Galio as well. And Xiao comes in for the finish, but just watch P. Like, he's actually in a very good position. The Cannon Barrage is coming down as well, but unfortunately he doesn't have perfect timing to lock everyone down in that position. And this is weird from Xiang, to be honest.
Steps up to the minion wave to try and clear it out at the cost of his own life.
Yeah.
This is quite difficult for OMG to go through as RNG. I mean, they're turning on to the last inhibitor. They're taking everything.
Yeah, we're seeing the head scratch coming out from Icon.
Yes. This has got to be a demoralizing defeat for OMG. If the RNG are turning on to the Nexus now. It's only a matter of time. OMG
down.
Is it going to be the miracle team fight? Will they find it? Looks like they're just backing away. Mountain sitting behind the Nexus. He's finally going to step up as the super minions start to crash in. Pillar of Filth denies anyone's ability to step forward as that turret goes down. The next one is being turned onto by Xiaohu and the rest of the minions. Double supers and Baron for 30 seconds.
All right,
We're going to begin crashing in.
If you want to go in, here's your chance.
Mountain's
Try
got
to
the
get
black
someone
shield.
on.
He flashes forward, but the black shield's about to be popped. Xiaohu steps up as it's an AoE brawl, and Mountain gets left behind. Xiaohu flung in with the Demonic Ascension, pops for 1. Grand Challenge, but Zanya's denies Icon's ability to get the kill. He gets into the back, he cleanses, he gets the kill and onto the fountain, but his team is dead, and he might be as well. Xuan P flashes back to safety. But this Nexus goes down, and RNG take the series 2-0.
Yep, very slow and measured approach from RNG right there. They had a very strong early game, but still decided to play the later half of the game out at their own pace. Did not give the 5v5 chance to OMG until the very last team fight.
And look, it's got to be said, OMG getting crushed by RNG like this in this game has got to be so tough. They brought in a new AD carry. They brought in a new jungler. They're finally trying to make some changes and take some growth. But going up against the #1 seed in the LPL, heck, the #1 seed in the world.
Very tough mountain to climb.
Absolutely. I think it was expected to go like this, but not the emotional challenge that RNG threw down in this best of 3. Can OMG keep their growth and momentum moving out of this series?
I think OMG have to change their draft strategy. They're going up against the best that the LCK, the world, had to offer in terms of drafting ideas, and they're just falling short. They don't have the ability to move their lanes around like a lot of the other teams in the LPL. And the second thing is the communication is just so far behind the top of the Rift Rivals teams.
Yeah.
For OMG, we know they don't really have a strong shot calling culture. They never had one. Part of the reason they're bringing Mountain onto this squad as well, and it just showed so much in this team, in this game around. Like the early skirmishes, they could have won, but they didn't because they could not coordinate their skill usage. And in the later half of the team fights, the same thing happened as well. You know, people were flashing in without the necessary items. They had the combos in mind, but not really the execution plans. It's just a very tough and long battle that OMG needs to fight through.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll get a chance against some of the other teams of RNG's conference. They need to start trying to take some of these quote-unquote free wins if they want to try and chase playoffs. I mean, this was a team that we sent to Rift Rivals just last year, a team that looked like they had finally found momentum, the Rockstars stepping up, but coming into Summer Split of 2017, Spring Split of 2018. OMG have just lost all of that.
Yep, and we're getting to see a new page of RNG on the flip side as well. Just playing every single lane. It's just such a shame that we can only see 6 players at Worlds when they could be potentially fielding 8 in total.
Running those double mages to try and bring down OMG there. I mean, Zatai even coming in to fill in the AD carry role. It really starts to ask some questions. Are we going to get to see some screen time for Abel, or are RNG just going full in on prepping for playoffs, prepping for Worlds, giving their core 6?
I actually say you don't bring in Abel because you're never going to start Abel over Uzi.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you might as well just stick to Let Me Zatai, have both of them on the rosters at Worlds so we can confuse people when you actually do sub out Uzi and bring in another mage player.
Well, hey, maybe that could be what we see in the future. That being said, though, it's time for our analyst to break down that victory from RNG.
It was a very decisive 2-0 coming out from RNG in their first set back after a Rift Rivals victory. Game 1, yes, OMG had some fighting prowess in the first 30 minutes, but it was immediately snowballed by RNG. Game 2 was an RNG victory from start to finish.
Yeah, we spoke about this. Our OMG are one of the weirdest teams to watch play League of Legends right now. And for me, I can't do anything but bad analogies. I'm an Australian, so you're just going to get one. Deal with it, honestly. Just imagine you're rock climbing, right, and you don't have someone belaying you. There's no rope to keep you up, and there's definitely just ground below you. It's not water. You're not cliff climbing. If you fall, you just die. That's OMG playing League of Legends. You know, they can climb that cliff. They're pretty good, but once they fall off, they're done. They have no backup plan. They just went boom. Game 2 was just a big boom from OMG. They lost their lanes individually. They lost their mechanical plays individually, where Game 1, I came into the post desk and I was like, they were good. They were individually good. They kept up. Didn't happen in Game 2. I don't know what happened.
TLDR, if you're an OMG fan, buy them some harnesses and ropes so that they can be belayed in their matches. Apparently, rock climbing, not good for them. In this match alone, RNG, though, like, it was said during the cast, OMG fought back in the first match. Didn't see that at all in game number 2. That was just a decisive RNG victory, all the way to the point where they started contesting for major objectives like inner turrets as well as Baron. And a Baron fight was where things really kickstarted for RNG and started to snowball the game out of control.
Yeah, around 24 minutes, there was a fight that happened at the Baron, and there was still some apprehension from RNG for a little while once they had a lead on, do we take the fight, do we go for the objective, what do we actually want to achieve from this? But for the first time, again, there was finally a full commit possible for them. Now, Icon does trade here, but that's just a tie with a misplay in terms of mechanics. And then Xiaohu comes in and notice that he Zonya's the death from below, comes in and pops everybody. So Xiaohu's huge, and from this point in the game, Xiaohu was large enough that he's just going to carry. He's actually just going to do the work, and as long as you avoid the 45-minute point in the game where everyone has items, RNG were always going to win that game. They were a shoo-in, and they were able to execute on the follow-up fights after.
And we're starting to see that Summer Split Xiaohu play. We saw how well he performed during the World Championships run that RNG had last year, and he's starting to do well ever since winter ended. He's always been very vocal about this. He hates the cold weather. He thinks that he plays badly during the cold weather. Towards the end of spring, now Rift Rivals, now Summer Split, Xiaohu is looking like a top-tier carry for RNG, and every single position, including their substitutes, are so strong.
And to put it simply, he has to carry now. He had Uzi during all of that time. He said that summer came early during the spring split, during the finals, said that he's going to show up and he's going to carry, and he didn't need to. Uzi carried, so that was perfectly fine. Now he has to carry. If he's not there to put in the efforts, now that Uzi's not there, then a top laner in an off role playing mid or of the likes has to do that work. And for me, this set, good example of what Xiaohu can do when Xiaohu starts to warm up.
He's working well with Ming in the bottom lane. And the question for RNG as we go towards later half of the split, especially if they qualify for the World Championship later on in the year, is going to be which substitute do they bring?
Yeah.
Because Tatai, Let Me both playing out of their minds and now showing that they can play on the same roster as well. Then you've got Abel, you still have Casa and MLXG to decide between.
And Let Me was playing out of his mind in that set individually. I have to give him some credit for that. And the interesting thing here is, the casters were like, who do we put in? Do we put in Abel to practice? Do we put him in to play at all? And for me, you take 6 people internationals. I hope that goes up to a minimum of 7 personally. You take 6 people to internationals. Do you take both of your top laners then? Because you've got this strategy, but that means that Caster or MLXG has to disappear. And strategically at MSI, they took their junglers and just Let Me because they could be more strategically diverse. So I feel like they're at a crossroads during this period of time where, unless it goes up to 7 people, which I still hope it does, I don't know who I would take anymore.
Yeah, because even at Rift Rivals, we didn't actually see their top laners go in for that. It was actually going to be
Casa or Let Me.
Casa or Let Me, going in for that match. We didn't actually see them move in more of their substitutes, unlike what we saw from MSI as well. So curious to see how that's going to progress later in the year. But taking it back to this match itself, it was not only that Baron fight that started things for RNG, they also secured it later on in the match, which led to that snowball 17,000 gold lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, they try and get Mountain in here for a steal. So OMG not really looking for a fight if possible. And problem here is that they've stepped up pretty close. So they'll find themselves caught out, Baron secured. And with that Baron, nothing can stop RNG from ending the game.
And it seems like there's not too many teams even that can try and stop RNG at the moment in the LPL. They've been looking incredibly strong, only dropping a single match during Rift Rivals itself, but since then bouncing back and performing better and better.
Yep.
I mean, Uzi's health aside, they look like the best team right now.
And they were able to win this game slowly and cleanly. They still looked good as a 5v5 unit. They did what it took to win the games. And there are moments and there are points where RNG you would not say are infallible, or you would say they have got weaknesses perhaps that could be attacked, but those are far and few between. They are very sparing, and a team like OMG doesn't even have a chance at actually capitalizing on it and getting the victories. So I'm looking further, I'm looking forwards at the match of the weeks that we have coming up when RNG has to play cross-conference against the other top teams on if they can actually take them on. EDG and IG are the first ones that come to mind. Rogue Warriors is the other big one, however, that they'll play against.
I mean, that first match is going to be on Sunday against EDG, but we can celebrate the win for RNG right now, where Xiaohu picked up MVP in the mid lane, showing that he is one of the true carries for Royal Never Give Up.
Certainly is. 30% of his team's damage, and that was with a few damage dealers running around. We had a Zeal completed, Phantom Dancer, I believe, at the end by that Nah, so lots of carries on the side of RNG, but Xiaohu was the carry, the big brain carry in the bottom lane.
Little Tiger has been unlocked, but still being kept on a leash by Ming in that bottom side of the map, who we always have to give our shout out to, because him as a support right now is looking really good, not only for RNG, he's shown that he can work well with Uzi when he needs to protect the hyper carry, and now he's working well with Xiaohu as well when he needs to be a little bit more aggressive to adapt to his mage tendencies and playstyles.
Even 3-0 when playing with Abel, their support, their sub for the AD carry position. RNG have definitely got what it takes through the support role, and Uzi may give a lot of information, but it's not like that hasn't been absorbed by Ming at all, and he still looks very good.
But that's the end of today's matches, so we can go ahead and take a look at the standings in the LPL at the moment. And that's the first day of cross-conference. Nothing too much has changed. RNG secure themselves another point. OMG dropped down slightly further. We also saw BLG picking up their first victory in quite some time, trying to regain the form that we saw from them during the Demacia Cup finals.
Yeah, BLG being able to actually break away from the bottom of the pack there. VT and LGD sitting at 1 and 5 respectively. They'll have their chance in the spotlight. They'll have their chance to get the victories, but BLG have actually done that, and their first foot forward in the right direction, fighting for that top 4 position.
Yeah, so with the standings in the LPL, we can take a look at tomorrow's matches, because this was just the first day of cross-conference. Started a little bit late, but tomorrow we have more matches to come. LGD taking on Snake, followed by Invictus Gaming against Fun Plus Phoenix, and Suning going up against Rogue Warriors.
And you can see the players on your screen. IG versus FPX is most likely the one you would want to be watching, and of course the second set, even second and third sets here, man. Those are some decent games potentially.
Certainly are. We get to see if Snake going to continue with their gold funneling strategy as well. They're going to be running double support at the same time. Smalls, IG, and Rogue Warriors return from Rift Rivals.
I'm just glad he doesn't have a man bun.
actually pretty glad I don't have a man bun as well. That is the mistake of a haircut. But that's the end of the broadcast here tonight. We just want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Rusty, for joining us, our cast as well as the entire production crew. We'll see you guys tomorrow.